Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name's Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Friday, June 29th. Jimmy the Bag. It's been an interesting week, an up and down week. I took my first loss in CFL yesterday, which was, that's going to happen. These lines are very, very tight. Not likely to go 10-0 or 11-0 or 12-0 in any 12-game stretch of any sport, right, Jim?
Yeah, but I really think the Stamps are a dangerous entity for us. They seem to be holding down their opposition even with their defensive injuries. What bothered me the most yesterday was ninth inning, 2-out pass ball cost me the run line in the Phillies game. Plus 170 spot would have changed the day. I don't feel like I'm ever getting that to go in my favor. It just feels like every single time. Now, I know that will change.
Yeah.
But goddamn, it was just another situation where I was like, come on.
No, I know. You've definitely been, we've been talking about this for a few days now, over the past 3 weeks or so. I don't know if it's variance or the universe trying to send a message to someone or something, but it is definitely the case that you've been snake bit recently. The breaks have definitely gone against you way more than, I don't know if one break has gone in your favor.
I haven't seen one, but I know that will change, so I'm not going to get hung up on it. But that one really hurt. Pass ball, 2-out. They allowed 2 runs in that inning. 4-1. Disappointing. A lot of guys were on the Phillies. That was the right side. I did think Rourke was going to get touched, and he didn't.
Yeah.
In saying that, we're joined by some great cappers, and I'm going for big scores today. I'm taking dogs on reverse run lines.
In MLB.
Yeah.
I was looking at this card. I was like, I don't know if I'm hallucinating here for some reason or if I'm really seeing something that's real, but I was thinking that this is one of the better cards that I've seen in a while in MLB. Would you agree with that, Jim?
I don't. I know. Let's start breaking it down. That kind of concerns me a little bit because
why?
I didn't see like slam dunks.
Not slam dunks. That's what I'm saying. Not slam dunks. Like slick value EV opportunities. Okay. Not slam dunks.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. I see some big dogs that can play today.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's quickly just look at some of the early comments, and then we'll dive right into it because there's a lot of games to cover. Okay.
Picasso the Prophet joined us yesterday. He showed me some of his tickets. Just made an easy $1,000 after, and he had been gone for a little while. So shout out to Picasso the Prophet. Chris, follow him on Twitter, man. He's a monster. He'd been gone from us for a little while. He said that he missed our late show. He rewatched it, our late show. Put in his bets and is feeling better.
Really? What picks did we have in the late show? I had Milwaukee second half, which cashed, and the first inning on the no run scored in the Tampa Astros game. You know, I'm starting to pay a little bit closer attention to that, and I think I'm going to give some teams to score first and score or no score in the first inning plays, Jim.
Yeah, well, we saw it work with the Oracle. Also, Teddy B and everybody on the Storm last night at -2.
Yep.
I wish I had gone on it because we pushed with that first half on the Mystics, but
I actually cashed the first half team total over, which was the right way to go. You remember that first half went exactly the way I said. I was like, I'm taking the first half team total over because just in case, they're up by, 3 or 4 with 2 minutes to go, but it's a relatively high paced game. I don't want to have to sweat that out. And it did wind up pushing, although the team total over I cashed with. Great call by Indian Cowboy and a few others on the under in the LA Seattle game, which also cashed, Jim. So in general, we had a pretty nice day yesterday. Not a perfect day, but a nice day.
It should have been nicer. It's funny because it was a pretty. I mean, it was close to a break-even day, but it felt like a goddamn losing day. This month has felt horrible, and it's not been horrible, but it's just felt. I guess I'm taking the losses harder than the winners. And but let's get to work.
Yeah,
man.
let's jump into it. Just one comment I do want to address here. Let's see. Where is it? Just one comment I want to address here. Where is it? I just saw this one comment that I want to shout out. I love it when they give us positive comments like this. Jordan Smith, it's amazing. This show has grown a lot. Love it. Shout out to Jordan Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump right into it because there's a lot of games that I was thinking about. I guess let's first start with the Cubs game, which we won't be able to get to in the evening show. It is Barrios against Montgomery, and Barrios has had a definite resurgence after his run of mediocrity, right? About a month ago, and he has been absolutely on fire recently. His last start was his best yet in his recent run of in his recent resurgence. Not totally sure whether this is going to be another good spot for him. And the line has moved about 10 cents in the Cubs' favor, 15 cents in the Cubs' favor.
Yes, and Nostra told us he's a ton of value with Berrios in
Does
this
he?
spot. Yeah, I think that the line is incorrect. Montgomery did not look good in his last start. He'd allowed no more than one earned run each of his first 5 starts, then he struggled. And that's against a Reds team that hits lefties. Now, this is a Twins team that doesn't really. Oh, John Garcia, Pete's birthday picks 3-0.
Yeah, shout out, John Garcia. Yes, it's actually been pretty good long term. We haven't been tracking those, although we should. Although I feel like a particle in the double slit experiment, when you start tracking them, it will change its course. But I don't know. Yeah, shout out. I'm happy to. We had to. You always have to struggle a little bit because you want the pressure's on to give people a winner for their birthday pick. But long term, those have been good. And yesterday, what was it? Yes, Boston. Boston minus one or one and a half managed to cash. It was close, but it cashed. And if you took the minus 1.5 line, you got a plus 150 dog. If you took the minus 1 line, it cashed relatively comfortably. So yes.
Kaisa Kyle says, nice to be back. First time watching live again. Amazing show.
Yes.
Much love, man. Thank you for joining us.
He said amazing show?
Yes, he did.
Oh, thank you very much.
Did. And Randy Lockhart, this is the best. This is a perfectly put, and thank you for taking the time to write it, Randy. He said, Jimmy, remember, every day is a new opportunity. I think that obviously the Cubs had a tough little trip there.
Wally George says, missed your CFL play last night. How did it go? Loser.
Yeah, I let him know. Poorly. I wrote back poorly.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm still 10-2 overall in CFL. Jim is 4-2.
Yeah, disappointing because my initial leans were Stamps and under, and I talked myself into the over going into injuries and didn't want to go up against you and Babano, which I think if I stay away from going up against you and Babano long term, that will prove to be the right.
We'll see.
It's always going to prove to be the right thing to not go up against you two.
Anyway, we're procrastinating here, Jim, because we're avoiding
out.
This tough game, Minnesota Cubs. I was thinking that,
the Cubs just had a nice offensive explosion after losing 6 of 8 on that road trip. Twins entered this weekend series off that long 13-inning game. That wasn't a night game, so I don't think it's that big of a deal because it was an afternoon game that went long. Twins have lost 5 of 7. Berrios has not lost since May 27th, coming off a strong 7-inning effort against the Rangers, and the Rangers' offense is humming right now. He's allowed no runs, 2 hits, struck out 12. He'll face the Cubs for the first time in his career. He has been stepping up. Generally, in these kind of big-time moments. But is Montgomery coming back to earth? That last start was not quite as good. Is he coming back to earth?
I mean, I think he's definitely not quite as good as his run of 6-inning 1-run starts, but I think he's still probably serviceable going forward. This is a really tough one. I want to take a shot with the over, maybe the second half over. Just not quite sure how to play this one. Although it's a tempting game. I kind of the weather says over, but Berrios' recent form and Montgomery in general says under. The Cubs have a lineup that hasn't been super productive, and the Twins, of course, have a lineup that is not particularly scary as well. So I'm conflicted about this game. I wish we had either the wind blowing in or better offenses involved or worse offenses involved or starting pitchers who weren't as strong as they are right now. It's just there's kind of strong factors conflicting here.
You're right. I don't feel very comfortable. Predictions guy says nice shirt, by the way. I assume.
Thank you very much. Nice shirt. There's always a reason for something. There are very few coincidences in life. There's always a reason for something, Jim. Very few coincidences in life. There are some coincidences in life.
What are you implying?
What?
What are you inferring?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying when you notice something, sometimes it's a coincidence. Usually it's not. If someone's wearing a particularly nice shirt, there's usually a reason.
Is it a promo for the Pride Parade on Sunday?
That would be a reason. That would count as not the reason, but if it were, that would count as a reason, Jim. That's all I'm saying.
Like
Thank you for noticing. Let's get back to handicapping.
Tomer says Berrios has been much better at home, but his issue on the road has been home runs to right-handed hitters. He's dominated lefties, and Bryant should be out. I think those are good points. Kobe Valentine liking Detroit -1.5. I think that's a very live dog that he likes, and I quite like him too.
I guess let's move on. Let's move on from the Cubs-Minnesota game. I would love to take a shot with the over, with the second half over. I would love to take a shot with, I don't even know what. I feel like I would love to take a shot with something, but the game is just a very frustrating game from a handicapping perspective. I hate it when I like to bet into, when there's multiple factors pushing the same way. I hate when there's strong factors that I have a good read on, but they're conflicting. You know what I mean?
I agree. Chung Koo, I think, figured it out.
Yeah, what's that?
Pete has a date tonight.
Nope, wrong. Good guess, though. Obviously, that would be a great guess.
It would be.
That would be a great guess. Wrong. All right, but good guess, and thanks for guessing. Let's see. All right, let's see. The rest of the baseball card, ton of plays that I was thinking that I'm liking. I don't even know where to start. Pick one game and tell me what you think, Jim.
Sure.
Or I'll pick one.
Why don't we talk about this Red Sox-Yankees game, because everybody's talking about it right now. A lot of people want to ride the hot hand, the hot team with the Red Sox. And
I was thinking Yankees.
I agree. I'm not comfortable with the Red Sox in this spot. Red Sox have won 4 straight, 6-7, scored 22 runs, hit 9 homers in that 3-game sweep of the Angels. This is not the Angels. Yanks are returning from a 2-4 road trip. Their offense is struggling. First time I've said that all year. Blank twice, scored 17. They're batting 175. They went 10 for 57 with runners in scoring position of late. Rodriguez, 9-2, 3.86 ERA, 1.29 whip. Allowed 5 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits in 4 innings versus the Mariners, his first loss in a long time. Always has pitched the Yankees well, 4-2 with a 2.70 ERA. Sabathia and Rodriguez went up against each other, right, on May 10th. Sabathia did not look very good. He allowed 4 runs on 9 hits in 4 innings. Sabathia coming off 2 tough luck losses against the Rays. I was impressed with that second outing. 17-13 with a 4.20 ERA and 40 career starts against the Red Sox. Yankees smash lefties. Kobe's on Yankees -1.5. Couple people here on the under. Scotty Rock Forever on the under 9.5. This is not a slam dunk to me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And once again, we're seeing a 30-cent move against Boston. Maybe it's not that the Sharps were liking the Angels in this last series. Maybe it's that the Sharps were looking to fade Boston, and they're seeing something that Boston is overvalued. Because once again, a huge move. The Yankees opened as a dog at Pinnacle. Now they're up into the -120s. A 30-cent move for the Yankees. I was leaning the Yankees at any of these lines. I wish I was getting a little bit. I did bet this one when it was like -115 or so. I am thinking about taking the Yankees here anyway. CC has been serviceable. Erod is a nice, impressive arm though. He always pitches the Yankees well. You said?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He has a great career record against the Yankees, and not a lot of people can say that.
Felix Hernandez can say that, and look what happened last time he came into the Yankee Stadium. Another great start from Felix Hernandez.
Really good.
Man.
And what a joy it is to see Twadi Latte here joining us. We've not been seeing him enough, so thank you for coming. He says this is a Boston play.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Huge line move in favor of the Yankees. I thought maybe I'm not seeing as many great plays as I thought. I thought the Yankees were going to be one of my plays that I was really liking. I was thinking about the Yankees maybe on the second half, maybe a play on the second half under as well. And the total on this one has gotten bet up from 9 to 9.5. But as we know, the Yankees have been a good play on their second half lines, right, Jim?
Oh, God, they have. They've done very...
I mean, on the unders. I'm sorry about that. On the unders.
It's been nonstop unders from this team. Very, very interesting. Tomar says Yankees hit lefties, but Rodriguez has had success against them, including this year. I think this game is a coin flip. Yankees do have the much better bullpen. Yes,
and I was thinking about the Yanks on the second half at +105 and thinking about the second half under at 3.5 -115. This is another tough game. All right, let's move on. Let me find one of these games where I thought I had a nice edge. Let me see. Well, one of them, all right, let's talk about Detroit-Toronto, right?
Sure.
Stroman came back from the DL and had a really nice 5-inning start. I think until he starts to break down physically again, we can expect a little bit more of that from him. On the other side, Detroit just looks like a mess in the same league as Baltimore. Liriano can be good, but definitely unreliable. And I was thinking that this is a spot, despite the high line, maybe a shot with Toronto, definitely a shot with the Detroit team total unders, maybe a shot with the full game under. This is an interesting game. Is Toronto? This is one of those games where it's like, should Toronto ever be a -190 favorite against anyone?
They should not be.
Right,
they should not be. But Stroman says that he was dealing with the shoulder impingement, right? And when he came back, he said he was throwing 100%, and I'm not entirely sure what he means by it. I guess he was just because now he says in his last start he was throwing 80 to 85%, and that was giving him the ability to touch the spots where he wanted to touch. He wasn't forcing things.
So why doesn't he just throw 85% all the time then?
Well, that's what he claims he's going to start doing, but it was kind of a strange way of putting everything down. Mally Mal says Stroman wins today. I thought that... I know the Jays have trouble with lefties. Liriano seems to pitch well when he has a break. He just had a break. He went on the DL with a strained hamstring, making his first start since May 26. And even in that first start back, so Saturday was the first start back against Cleveland. He allowed 3 runs, 2 earned in 4 innings against Cleveland. But all of those runs came in that 40 pitch first inning. And he did not allow another hit over the next 3 innings. He just said he was just forcing it.
Yeah.
Sort of the same thing that Stroman was saying. To be honest, I kind of like the Tigers for a big score here. And I'm a little concerned hearing some of this spot. Tom Raven says Detroit plus 180. What a spot to get a win against Toronto. Mr. Gokcher says Detroit not playing well. Line is really high, but I'm not taking the Tigers. Thomas says Stroman has been good at home in previous years, but he just doesn't seem like the same pitcher. Who's laying minus 190 on him?
So you're not terribly impressed with Stroman's first start back from the DL, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, it was a nice 5-inning start, and I was shocked at how bad of a season he's had so far. So Mitchell Shaga says Jays will stack righties versus a lefty who they know. Lean over. Yeah,
I was thinking, all right, maybe I'm not seeing so many plays that I'm liking. I was thinking, the under here, I was thinking Detroit first 5 innings team total under, which would be 2. I was thinking maybe Detroit on the second half to come back later. I was thinking, Toronto scores first maybe. This is another tough one. All right, now let's talk about the game below that one.
One point I want to make that some of the commenters have been making about that Yankees spot, saying that Sabathia does not pitch well in the heat. And this is going to be a hot day in New York. Just a couple different commenters mentioning that.
Great comment. Who said that?
A couple different guys. One was Mali Mal. And then Alex says, good number, take a shot with the Tigers.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Yes, and it is true that conditions affect certain pitchers in different ways. One, Tim Wakefield with his knuckleball used to always pitch better in mild weather and indoors, and there are definitely some pitchers who are more affected by cold or heat. And I did not know that about CC Sabathia. Apparently, he's more affected by heat than others.
Pounds, The Jays are hitting 231, 705 OPS versus lefties. Kobe's giving the stat 9-21 against lefties this year, and the Tigers' offensive numbers just completely are falling apart. They were quite good beginning of the year. Now they have an OPS under 700.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to another game that definitely caught my eye. One of the first games that caught my eye on the card, Milwaukee-Cincinnati, right? I had a winner with Milwaukee on the second half. I think that, as you said, Milwaukee getting a boost with Thames back and the offense picking up a little bit.
But is that boost gone now
because of
Yelich?
Right. Yes. I mean, that's obviously a loss that is not nice to see. Cincinnati probably regresses at least a little bit, or almost definitely regresses at least a little bit from their awesome play over the past few weeks. But we do have 2 tomato cans starting pitchers here, and I think that the first 5 innings over is a no-brainer play that you would think about. I'm thinking about Milwaukee on the second half coming back once again like they did last night. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any 5s on the first 5 innings, but it's 5.5 at a plus 100 market wide. And thinking about both first 5 inning team total overs, is that low-hanging fruit? Is this a low-hanging fruit game here to fade Anderson and Romano?
I think you might be onto it.
Right.
I think this Anderson just, as I said at the beginning of the year, as I was expecting, he's just not the pitcher he was last year. Always had good numbers against the Brewers, but they lit him up May 1st, 4 runs, 6 hits, and 5 1/3. Although Suarez, who's a monster right now, is just 2 for 13 against them, and Scooter Gennett, who's batting .331, is just 2 for 7 against them. Romano has had a lot of trouble with the Brew Crew. 0-4, 6.27 ERA in 4 career starts. Brooke Jordan says Anderson is good on the road.
Really? Wait, this year? Recently? This version of Anderson?
Terrible. 4.37 ERA, 1.18 whip.
And he did have good strikeout numbers. And I mean, he got hit in his last start, but he did have good strikeout numbers. So maybe he's not as much of an auto fade as I was assuming that he was. I was thinking that this might be a game to take a shot with a score in the first inning, although the line is very high, as you would expect, minus 155. I'm sorry, that's Brewers to score first. Let me see what the line would be here for a score in the first inning. A score in the first inning in the minus 138. Minus 138, a yes score in the first inning. That's got to be a decent play, right? No?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take that one.
Sense.
Milwaukee, Cincinnati, score in the first, minus 138. That's the current line at Pinnacle, and I'm going to take that one. Score in the first, minus 138. Also leaning both team total overs on the first 5 innings at 2.5. I guess I'm also leaning the first 5 innings over at 5.5, and Milwaukee on the second half. These feel all like kind of no-brainerish plays. Not locks. Yes, Anderson had a bunch of strikeouts in his last start, and Romano about 2/3 of the start gets hit. Of his starts, he gets hit. But a third of his starts are fine, including 2 out of his last 3, right?
Bud Nino says, Loshak, I saw your interview with Joe Gavazzi. He said Brewers sweep.
Yeah.
Lathrop says Romano can't get through the lineup 3 times, 7.71 ERA, third time through. Not applicable, says Romano, a fade. Paco Healy looking for the Oracle. The Oracle is on a family vacation. Yes, we're not going to have her for a few weeks, sadly.
Yes.
But she will be back.
But people like us who have no family and no friends and no alternative activities, you got us every single day, twice a day.
Even when I'm sick, I show up.
Yes.
Red Girl says, I'm scared of the under last night, killed me. You know what? That was another just terrible break. Even when it was 5-4, the only reason why that 6th run came in was because of a balk.
Inning. Yeah.
But it was a balk that moved them to third. It was a fucking balk.
Welcome to MLB handicapping.
It was a goddamn balk. Yeah. Like that run wasn't going to come in, and it came in on a ground out because of the balk. Very, very disappointing.
A 10th run scored in the 9th inning caused by a balk to ruin your under 9.5 is completely par for the course when it comes to MLB betting. That doesn't even count as a bad beat. That just counts as standard baseball variance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. All right, let me think about this.
Mitchell Chaga says Brewers power righties will touch Romano today. Let's keep it simple. Aguilar to keep the homers coming.
Yeah. All right. So my leans on this game, I've definitely taken a score in the first inning. My other leans, again, are Milwaukee second half. Both first 5 inning team total overs and the first 5 innings over as well. I'm going to think about that a little bit. I might convert a lot of my leans to plays in the evening show, but that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about for now. Let's move on to another game. San Francisco, Arizona, a late game. I don't know if you looked at this one, Jim, but it is Corbin's next start. Now, Corbin's last start was at Pittsburgh, which when we discussed that game, I think I said that I'm not particularly high on Corbin, but that was a nice spot for him, right?
It was Corbin Nova, and they both pitched excellent.
And Corbin did have a good start, but I'm not high on Corbin in general right now. His last 3 starts of home have been bad. I'm thinking that, again, this is a play where we're thinking about, San Francisco -1. I like San Francisco to hit Corbin a little bit. Maybe the first 5 innings team total over and the full game team total over. I'm thinking about San Francisco to score first. I'm thinking about San Francisco many ways here and the over as well. Suarez should be good, but he's had some good results recently, but they've all kind of been relatively easy assignments. This should be a little bit tougher. So I'm thinking about San Francisco in like 3 or 4 different ways and overs in 3 or 4 different ways in this one.
Wow. I'm on a different
What are you thinking?
Here.
You're liking Corbin.
I am liking Corbin here, and Twadi saying Corbin was filthy against Pittsburgh. Dante Bankroll Jones is with you on that over. Twadi saying his slider was unhittable. Scotty Rock on the Diamondbacks run line, and that's against his team, the Giants. That's what I'm thinking here. Suarez has looked terrible on the road this year, and those starts that he had in June, like you said, were against very weak competition. 1-0 with a 2.86 ERA in 5 June starts, and gave up 1 run in 5 2/3 since last start. No decision against San Diego. Has never pitched at Chase Field. What I saw from Corbin in that start, I'm agreeing with Twadi. I really liked it, and I don't trust Suarez. And this Diamondbacks team, we remember at a time when they couldn't hit lefties.
Sure.
And that's over. Now, you were right that Corbin does not have very good numbers at Chase Field this year, 4-3, 3.92 ERA. But these D-backs are now hitting 251 with a 774 OPS versus lefties.
I'm surprised by all the opinions. I thought that it would be a few opinions agreeing with me and other opinions saying they're staying up, but a lot of people saying they like the under. A lot of people liking the D-backs. Ralph Portuando likes the under. Melvin Morel likes the D-backs run line. Scotty Rock Forever likes the D-backs run line. Mitchell Chagas loves the D-backs here. And Jimmy the Bag was liking D-backs. And not applicable, says Arizona Bats win it. That's 5 opinions.
But here is Kyrie Cribbs saying, I live in Arizona. And Arizona struggles against San Francisco at home.
Listen, I'm taking the Giants -1 here. It is a big underdog line. The line is part of it. Corbin, all right, listen. Tuate Latte says Corbin was filthy in his last start. You got to give him credit for it, even though it was an easy assignment. It was still a nice start. I'm just not sure I'm a believer in Corbin right here. And Suarez, I'm not a believer in him. I'm leaning San Francisco. A lot of people in the comments section leaning the opposite ways, but I'm willing to go with my instinct on this one. Not that it's definitely, I don't want to talk you off a play and then have it turn out winning and then have you frustrated that you didn't trust your instincts, because your instincts are good. I'm going to take San Francisco -1 money line +138 at UWager. And if you'd like to sign up with UWager, please do use the link in the description box so that all the higher ups, when they go over the data and when they go over the all the analytics, they can say, oh, look at that. Some people did use that link that we put in the video right underneath the Loshak in the Bag show. In the meantime, Bet365, I'm going to check the alternative run line here for San Francisco, plus 290. So I'm on San Francisco -1 to start. I'm thinking about San Francisco to score first. I'm thinking about maybe San Francisco team total over. First half, full game, something like that. Jimmy the Bag, you want to make a play on this one? Think about it a little bit more.
I'm really uncomfortable. I felt like I had some plays that I wanted to make, and now I'm just questioning them all. Because of the Prophet says, stand strong, Pete.
I'm standing strong. Yeah, it's the San Francisco first 5 team total over is just 1.5 at Pinnacle. The full game is 3.5. Those are all plays that I'm definitely thinking about making. What are the other plays on this game? I was thinking about taking just the full game over because I'm not a big believer in Suarez either in this spot. Not necessarily in general, but in this spot. And it is, wow, it's headed down. It opened at 8, juice to the over. Now it's 7.5, juice to the under. So a big line move favoring the under, and that makes me think that the market is probably liking Corbin here.
It's already been mentioned. Kyle Jack saying the public hitting the D-backs. Both Dante Bankroll Jones and Not Applicable are on Arizona and the over. And then when you keep going down, Drew B says Diamondbacks are hot, but Henry Jenkins Jr., San Francisco money line in the under, and then Scotty Rock sticking with the Diamondbacks run line. And I tend to take extra notice when people go against their team.
Yeah. I was thinking about taking first 5 innings. It's now down to 3.5 -125 or 4 plus money. Damn, I don't know what to do here, Jim. Am I wrong? Is my read on this game wrong? My thought was Corbin should be a bit vulnerable. Suarez should be a bit vulnerable. Both offenses should be productive. And because of that, I'd be leaning overs and San Francisco as a big dog and maybe some San Francisco team total overs. But maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe Corbin's going to have a great start.
What are the signs that he's capable of having a great start? First off, he's looked very good against the Giants this year. 2-0, 2.32 ERA. He's coming off an excellent start against a team that can hit lefties, although that team was in an offensive slump. But he doesn't look good at home this year, and this is the 4th time the Giants are going to see him. So those are the negatives.
Yeah.
Not Applicable says 7.5 is too low for the over game. Alex has some great points about this Cleveland A's game, so I'll copy and tag that for when we get to that game.
All right, Jim. Well, this is a 9:30 start, so I can watch and wait. I've taken San Francisco -1 for sure, leaning overs in a few different ways and leaning San Francisco on their team total overs in a few different other ways as well. We can move on. How about let's just, the game right above it is interesting. Atlanta against St. Louis, Tehran against Mikolas. Obviously, Mikolas, a revelation, coming a little bit back down to earth recently, but still excellent. And Tehran, very up and down, more down than up, but give him credit for his ups, right? 2 games ago, he had a no-hitter going to the 6th inning, but his last 7 games as a group have been terrible. Is he going to get hit here again? My guess is probably yes. What do you think?
Is Mikolas going to be comfortable in this very, very hot weather? He pitched in San Diego before he left to Japan, and it's going to be very, very hot. Acuna is going to be back, activated off the 10-day disabled list. So that's a big boost. Yeah. But they are dealing with some injuries right now, so he's actually going to be quite useful. Braves are coming off very disappointing 2-4 homestand against teams that they probably should end up with a better record. Tehran 5-5, 4.52 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. Tossed 6 no-hit innings June 17th in a win over San Diego, and then was belted right after that. 7 runs on 6 hits against the Baltimore Orioles. He seems to go good start, bad start, good start. If that is the case, then this is a spot for a good start. 5 career starts against the Cardinals, 1-3, 3.86 ERA. Mikolas has been looking a little bit more human, but still pitching very well.
You think Tehran struggles here, or do you think he has one of his unexpected no-hit after 5 innings starts?
To be honest with you, I kind of like him to have a good start.
You think so?
Is that going to lead to a victory? I don't know, but it could lead to an under. What are we getting on the total?
I was thinking about an over here. I was thinking maybe St. Louis on the team total over 4 at -144 or the 4.5 at -110. The total is 8.5, which is about standard. I feel like there's a lot of volatility here. If it goes over, it might be an 18-run game. If it goes under, it might be a 3-1 game.
Yeah. Tomor says, Mikolas has been as strong, but St. Louis has good numbers against Tehran. Tehran's really struggled against lefties in St. Louis's lineup. I'd lean St. Louis, but this line looks right to me. Young Vaughn says Atlanta is a strong dog. Dante Bankroll Jones, Atlanta strong tonight.
I was thinking St. Louis -1, St. Louis team total over, and maybe a play on the full game over as well. So maybe there's not as many good plays as I was thinking. Although of course, every play, most plays on these markets will have strong opinions on both sides, which is why the lines settle where they do.
Young Vaughn likes the under. Mr. Gokes, they're leaning under first 5, no score, first inning, and Nighthawk says the baseballs will be flying. Very hot in the Northeast, 30 plus degrees. And Dante Bankroll Jones says Tehran has a good start today. I actually would lean towards him having a good start. Whether or not that will lead to victory, I don't know. And Dante Bankroll says Tehran good start today. I see it.
All right, you want to make a pick on this one, or
no,
move on?
I'm going to make a play on this game, but I think I need a little bit more time.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting card. I have a lot of leans. I have a feeling that I'm going to give just a small amount of official picks in the morning show, then review it all in the afternoon show and convert a bunch of my leans to official picks in the afternoon show when we see line movement. I feel like line movement might be very telling in today's card.
I agree.
And get some more invaluable information from the comments section. Let's talk about Houston, Tampa Bay. It's tempting to take Tampa Bay here, but they have such a relatively uninspiring lineup compared to what we're seeing from Houston every night. The line has moved up. It's now a 15-point line move in favor of Houston. Garrett Cole definitely coming back down to earth recently. Had some control issues. It was impossible that he could maintain that superhero form that he had in the beginning of the year. On the other side, Font has been not too shabby in his limited work recently for Tampa Bay. 2 very nice 4.5, 5 inning starts.
And they were explaining what the difference the pitching coach is doing with him and why he's pitching better, and he's pitched very different, using his velocity a lot more. Is it possible that Font that the other two teams were just not caring or not looking hard enough or not trying hard enough to make Font a real pitcher?
Oh, the other that he was pitching for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, we've seen time and time again how essential a good program or a good pitching coach can be. Can totally change a pitcher's career. Absolutely. There's no question that pitching coaches and pitching coaching systems that are really effective and know what they're doing can absolutely change a pitcher's career.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have a great one, and Tampa Bay appears to have a great one as well. Look at what happened with Verlander, with Cole Hamels, with Cole. Cole was good before that, but just turned into a superhero. So it seems like something's up with Houston's pitching, their pitching coaching system, and the Dodgers as well. And maybe Tampa Bay has something great here too. Obviously, they're willing to take risks, looking at the data, which is why they're having these bullpen starts to begin with. So it's entirely possible that they have converted Font into a significantly better pitcher than he's been in his career. And if they have, maybe Tampa Bay on the first 5 innings might be worth a shot, or first 5 innings plus a half. Maybe the first 5 innings under might be worth a shot, something like that. Maybe Houston first 5 innings team total under in the first 5 innings, which should be about 2.5. Yeah, it's all very interesting.
It's tough. Torres says Font had success against the Yankees even the second time they saw him. The line looks inflated. Match Fixing Alerts is trying to send us a message that he wants some people to listen to him on this show. We'd be happy to.
Sure.
Match Fixing Alerts. We're just hammering the baseball card right now. See that you like Belgium. That's very interesting. We'll talk about that once we get to the soccer. And you're always welcome here. But this Astros game, the Astros just look won 18 out of 21 games. They just look so dominant. But are some of these pitchers becoming susceptible? I thought they were last week, and took it right in the old prison pocket because of it. And I've just been so hesitant to do it again. But you're right, Cole seems susceptible. His only start without a win in his last 5 appearances came against these Rays. He threw 7 innings, gave up 4 earned runs on 3 hits and 5 walks. 5 walks, But the Astros still ended up winning that game. God, that's his only career outing against the Rays. Font looked great against the Yankees. I mean, that's a tough lineup to shut down. 5 2/3 scoreless. 4 June starts. His ERA is 1.80. And you're right, we have seen pitching coaches that care change pitchers. And we saw that in Pittsburgh with Happ. turn him into a completely different pitcher.
Yeah, not Atlas says Tampa's a pretender going against a contender. I mean, that is true that Tampa Bay has an uninspiring lineup, although they did have a recent run of winning at home, and yesterday's game was competitive. Mark Lathrop says Garrett Cole is touchable, and Mr. Gokster says another no-score first inning, Pete.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this spot. I still find it pretty difficult to believe in Font. As much as I like home dogs, I find that pretty difficult. But I do think that the Rays can get to Garrett Cole. What is the Rays team total over?
The Rays team total over. Let's see. That's interesting. The Rays team total over. First 5 innings, 1.5 plus 110. And then the full game for the Rays would be 3 at plus 127. 3 at plus 127. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's my first play.
You want that one?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rays team total over 3 at plus 127.
All right. Or if you want 2.5, we can give you the Heritage line, which is minus 130. 2.5 minus 130, or Pinnacle 3 plus 127. Tough decision here.
That is a tough decision here. I'm still sort of leaning towards the 3 at the plus line. What would you?
It's tough because I feel like there is some volatility with Cole, but low-level volatility. He's not going to get crushed. He's either going to be absolutely lights out or give up 2 or 3 runs. So that third run might mean something.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I'll take the full game team total over 2.5 at minus 130.
All right, 2.5 minus 130. Tampa Bay team total over 2.5 minus 130. I am thinking about taking a shot with Tampa Bay on the first 5 innings, which is a.
And Mark Lathrop saying take the over 7 with me, Jimmy the Bag. Not applicable. Saying over game. B-Rad says, I think score 6-1 Houston. Dante Bankroll Jones says, June is a month to fade the heavy pitchers. And we talked about all the volatility at this time of the year, right before the All-Star break.
Yeah. Wow. All right, I'll tell you, I'm going to do one thing. I am going to take Tampa Bay on the first half at plus 175. Hopefully we get a good start from Font. Maybe we'll get a surprisingly off start from Cole. But I'm going to take Tampa Bay first 5 innings plus 175 on the money line. And so obviously I'm not taking plus a half at plus 110. So that means I am expecting some volatility here, which I think is good to expect.
Is that full game total? Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Is that full game total at 7?
The full game total, yeah, I think that's what it was on the overnight line. Let's see, 7, slightly juiced to the over.
Wow, that seems appealing. I'm gonna take that.
You want that?
Yeah.
You want the Tampa Bay game over?
Yeah.
Okay, Jim's going to take the Tampa Bay game over 7 minus 115. 7 minus 115. All right, we do want to keep a brisk pace here. We got a lot of other stuff to get to. Okay. Again, in the evening show, we'll cover all this again, and I'll convert some of my leans to official picks.
There's a game I really want to talk about.
Let's go. Let's get to it.
Rangers White Sox.
Okay.
This was so strange to me because I have had a nice history of fading Gallardo, especially when he was on the Orioles. And I don't want that vividness bias to get in the way of this, but I just find him so susceptible. So when I saw Nostratotus saying Rangers reverse run line, maybe Rangers super run line and all that stuff, I was like, man, don't you trust Covey more than Gallardo? And he said he doesn't. So when I first looked at this, I thought, my God, what a great dog spot. And now I'm uncomfortable with it. What do you think here? White Sox, Covey versus Gallardo.
I mean, the thing about Covey is that he's had some concerning injury issues in his last start. I forgot what they were.
It was soreness in his hip and groin, and he said he felt it coming off the mound, but he thinks it's just a cramp. Now, that doesn't sound like a cramp when his hip isn't growing. And you know that last year he dealt with the oblique injury that kept him out for most of the season. He says he feels fine now.
And we know that Covey, for a while in the majors, was an absolute auto fade, went down to the minors, fixed some kinks, came up to the majors, and had some success, as I was expecting. But at any given time, easily, he could instantly, bam, revert back to the auto fade list form that he showed in the majors for quite an extended period of time, I think.
And Hal Romero, Jimmy, Texas run line, Twadi Latte, Rangers are the play here. Dav Fenn, Gallardo sucks. Dante Bankroll Jones says, take the team total over. Mark Lathrop, over 10.5, it's 100 degrees. He says, Rangers, White Sox, over 10.5, one of my double plays SBR article up now.
This is another game where I was thinking about taking a shot with a score. Yes, in the first inning, it's a high line, minus 157, but both these pitchers are suspect, as you said, Jim, and I think I am going to take that one. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take the Texas game score first. Yes, to score in the first inning. Yes, score in the first inning. Yes, that will be minus 157, which is obviously a very, very high line, but I think maybe warranted, and a play on that one, even at minus 157. So I'm going to take a play on that one. I'm going to quickly check Heritage here to see if they have maybe slightly better lines on these, and we should probably also start using 5 dimes for these first inning lines as well. Yeah, let me see. All right, so
I don't know if we should pick and choose when we use 5 dimes. We've gone
right.
used it for
because
so
the thing
long.
is right, yeah, okay, yeah, we won't
Just because it's something about our accountability not using that. So I don't want to start using it even a little bit, just because we.
Yes, no, you're
if
absolutely
we
right.
had have already used it, we'd have much better numbers.
But I don't think that they have lower than normal lines on their props. But you're absolutely right, Jim. You're absolutely right, Jim. All right,
okay. Well, I find this over very enticing. Are you doing anything more than that?
First inning to score, yes, minus 157, and the rest of my leans on this one would be White Sox on the second half, leaning first 5 innings over, maybe a shot with the second half under. Let me see what the first 5 innings over would be here with the White Sox. Yeah, 6, which is what you would expect.
Yeah, I guess
what
that's
you would expect.
Is it juiced?
Minus 115 across the board. Bet up a little bit from minus 103, the opener.
I think that I find it very appealing. Very appealing. Melee Plus Way leans under.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is going to be steamed to the over in the next few hours?
I would guess probably yes, but it's really hard to say. I mean, it's already 10.5 and 11. How much higher can this go? To 11.5? Could, but that would be quite the market move there to push this game to 11.5.
And does the wind die down a bit at all? I know it's not as important here in Texas. Is it just? Should I not even bother caring about the wind at all?
No, I think the wind matters. Just not near. I consider it to not be as important as in other parks, but it definitely matters. It definitely matters. All right, Jim. We want to.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in here. You know what? I'm gonna. God, if it's steamed to the over, I'll be upset. Okay, I'm not sure what to do yet, so why don't we move on and come back if I need to.
Let's move on. Other games that are definitely interesting. Let's go down. The Washington-Philly game is definitely interesting. The Angels-Baltimore game is definitely interesting. If there is a game if there is a series where Baltimore might be able to right their ship a little bit, it might be at home against the Angels and getting a home underdog line here. Let's see. What other games did we not
Let's
touch
do that Angels-Orioles and then the
Nationals-Phillies.
I find them both very interesting.
But then we got to get to CFL and WNBA and soccer, I guess, or we can skip soccer.
Why don't we skip soccer, and I'll make my CFL plays on the late show.
Okay.
I initially this morning I thought the Orioles were the play.
That's what
and
I thought
then horrifying images filled my head. Just horrible. What they did last night. I'm sure that everybody seems to despise them on our chat, but what they did to people last night. Yesterday was just horrible. 2 errors in the 10th inning. Now, I was fortunate that I got that run line, but God, they do everything to lose. And I kind of like David Hess early, and I don't like him late. He's looked very bad lately. Lost 3 straight decisions. Now it was a 5.44 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. In his last outing, he allowed 5 runs, 7 hits in just 4 innings against the Braves. And then Pena, I don't like any of these pitchers, and I don't like either of these offenses. So I ended up not coming in with a plan to take Hess in the Orioles, but it was my initial play. And it was yours as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Pena has some big upside, right? He throws heat, but not necessarily doesn't get the most out of it as other pitchers would. Hess is a guy who has mediocre stuff. I thought he was going to be okay in his first few starts, which he was. Now he's regressed, which doesn't surprise me at all. But against this Angels lineup, wouldn't be surprising if he has a start where he can keep Baltimore in the game here. My only concern is just that Baltimore might find a way to give this game away at one point in one way or another. But I'm thinking that Baltimore, at a big underdog line here, at the -1 line, might be worth a shot, hoping that this is a game where they could find a way to get a win. At some point, these guys are going to find a way to get a win,
At
or
some
not.
point, they're going to win 30 or 40 more games this year, right?
Or I don't know. Maybe they'll lose 20 games in a row. It's happened before. and maybe it'll happen here.
They're capable of winning 55 games this year. Alex says, I've been fading Orioles every game versus Seattle. Why stop now? Angels all day long. I don't know.
Kyle Jack says, fade Orioles or leave them out when in doubt. One of the worst ROIs in the league. Kyle Jack, the worst ROI in the league. Officially, I tracked that. Baltimore has actually by far the worst ROI in the league by about 10%. 10% worse than the 10 percentage points. So actually about 50% worse than the second worst team in the league. But as Jim said, probably they're going to start, they're going to have a few wins in the next 10 or 15 games or not.
Dante Bankroll Jones says they played some good competition lately. This is a spot for them. Their bats come alive. John Garcia says, should we blindly fade Baltimore? Okay, I'm going to need more time on this. I want to watch the line movement here. I would like to take the Orioles here. I just don't know if I can, as Trevor Holt would say, sack up.
And I'm going to. I just sacked up as you were talking to the camera. I'm not going to, get into the details about what just happened, but I sacked up. My sack went up, and I decided that I'm going to take them here. Baltimore -1, the money line plus 133. Man, that's at a few different places.
You got sack tricks. We got to get the bank off.
I do.
Actually, we'll work them out Sunday. At the parade.
Yes, and then the alternative run line at Bet365 is plus 275. So I'm going to take a shot with Baltimore if they win. I feel like there is volatility with Baltimore, so if they win, probably by more than one run. And if they lose, whatever, I'll eat a unit. But I have had an okay read on Baltimore recently. I didn't take them in the recent Seattle game, but I did have the balls to take them on the first 5 innings team total over, which did cash. All right, let's move on. You want to talk about Washington Philly now?
I do, very much so. So what's going on with Pivetta? Is he falling apart? Because we talked a lot about Fedde this year. We talked about how he's a top prospect. So I actually, now a lot of people want to fade Fedde to the moon and back, but I think that he will actually start pitching better as the season progresses. He's that kind of a prospect. He's a guy that maybe needs his time. And Pivetta looks terrible. Game time temp 90 Fahrenheit, winds blowing in sideways. After losing the Phillies last night, Nats have lost 10 of 13. Fedde has yet to win a major league game in 7 career starts. Facing the Phillies, he actually has had some okay outings against them. He went 6+, gave up 3 runs, 8 hits, and he induced 13 ground balls. And that was just last Saturday. So when I see a guy like Fedde who has 5 pitches, I imagine that when he sees the lineup a second time, he can actually do more. Like other pitchers, I think, oh God, this guy only's got 2 or 3 pitches, he's going to get touched. But Fedde, being a high-level prospect, I think that he's capable of having a good start here. Pivetta has looked bad. He's looked bad. 5.81 ERA, opponents rating 301 against him in 5 June starts. Now he's looked a little better in his last 2 starts, over 12 and a third, allowing just 4 runs. The Nationals have destroyed him. 9.19 ERA in 4 career starts. I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like Fedde's the play here and to go for a big score on the run line.
Yes, this is a tough one. Philly, of course, has a pen that I'm liking. I was thinking maybe a shot with the second half under, maybe a shot with Philly on the second half. This is similar to the Philly game yesterday. This is a what can I say? This is a tough one.
So what would I get on the?
What's up with the Nats lineup? Are they legit sluggish, or are they just?
We got to wait for Daniel Murphy. Maybe he's past it. Maybe the injuries have caught up to him. Maybe Daniel Murphy's not capable of it. But no, I think that this lineup should still be able to hit. Mark Lathrop says Fedde has great ground ball rates. Lean Washington might take it. When a guy has 5 pitches who's a high level prospect, he's lost his first 7 career starts. I'm going to take the Nationals here. I just don't know if I should go for a big score or not. What's the money line compared to the reverse run line?
I was thinking about the under. What do you think about the under? Is Pivetta going to be okay here, or you think he might get crushed? Yeah.
Well, you're right. He's looked better his last 2 starts. Here's a home start. So I guess that if I had to make a choice, I would say that he probably pitches a little better here. But he's pitching against a team that has his number. Yeah. I'm going to check out this reverse.
All right, I got it right here. So Washington is plus 107 on the money line, and the alternative run line at Bet365 is plus 195.
Nostratoid says Pivetta is nasty, Jimmy. Nothing terrible about him. Disagree there.
Nasty.
Yeah, he's Nostra's been high on Pivetta, and yeah, he's got. There's a reason why they've been giving him so many opportunities. I mean, he can throw some fire, but this is against a team that's touched him, and I believe in Fedde here.
How about the under at 9? Second half under at 3.5, minus 115. How about or minus 125? How about Philly on the second half plus 105?
I'm going to make a move on the Nationals.
Okay.
I'm going to talk more about it with Nostra and some other guys. I'm not going to put it in just quite
Okay.
yet.
All right. Yeah, I do feel like this is a card where there's probably a lot of good opportunity, but not slam dunks, which can be good. And I feel like I'm gonna convert a lot of my leans to official picks in the afternoon show. The only other games that we didn't get to are the late games. I'm gonna pass on those
what
for
about
now.
Mets Marlins?
Yeah, the Mets Marlins. Alcantara is a big prospect who has some upside. Definitely is young and raw. Has had some issues with control in his career, but it seems to be improving. He's young with a live arm. Not sure what we're going to get here. And DeGrom, of course, is DeGrom. Though, again, this is just like the Toronto game. Should the Mets be a minus 170 favorite against anyone, even with DeGrom starting? And I was thinking about a shot with the under on this one.
I think that the under is the play.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think if Alcantara, I'm sure this is a plum spot for him to get his MLB debut. You're right. His strikeout walks are not very good in the Pacific Coast League, but a 3.71 ERA in the PCL,
Sure.
that's impressive.
Yes.
So he's a 70th ranked prospect, throws in the high 90s, above average curveball, slider, changeup. He had 8 relief appearances last season and did fine, 4.32 ERA. That was with the Cardinals. He was part of the Ozuna trade. I under for the Mets. Trunku says first 5 in full game. It's a 7, right? We're dealing with a 7.
Yeah.
here?
Unfortunately, I think there were some 7.5s maybe when it opened, but yeah, 7. Although it is 7 with a plus 107 at Pinnacle.
Yeah. What
man.
about first 5?
First 5 will be 4 or 3.5. 3.5 at minus 105 or 4 at minus 131. 3.5 plus 100 at Intertops.
Wow. I guess this is just another spot that I might need a little more. Unless, are you going to make a move on it?
I don't know. I was thinking about unders. I was thinking about Miami as a home dog here. Why would they not be? Or Miami on the second half. How bad is Miami? Real Muto's coming back, right, Jim?
I don't think they're that. But Real Muto is so important to this team.
And I believe he's supposed to be back, right? Or no?
Well, we've been waiting for him to come back. It's been taking a little while. Let's see here. Kingu about business, saying the same thing. First 5 under. If the young pitcher can hold up, he's facing the perfect team to make a good impression. I agree with that.
Gerald Martinez says DeGrom will dominate. Tom Marino says Mets bullpen is garbage. I'd lean to look under first 5.
I think he's right. I think that the first 5 would be the play. I don't want to have to trust this Mets bullpen. And these Marlins can have really good at-bats.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
What to do?
Let's take this first 5, and the question is, do I take it 3.5 or do I take it at 4?
Yes. All right. So let me see, and I'm gonna take the Marlins on the second half as well, which is a little bit risky, taking a shitty team at home on the second half. But the line is plus 145. The Mets again.
I kind of like that play.
Yeah, not much better the Mets than Miami. So I'm gonna take Miami on the second half at plus 145. Miami second half plus 145. I'm also thinking about unders in this game one way or another. I think things will become a lot clearer. I might wind up with 30 plays on this card because I do have a lot of leans, but they're all a little bit iffy. I've given some plays here. How do you want to play this handleless game, Jim?
Swiatek says, what's the line on the fish second half? I think that's a nice
145,
play. I think that's a really nice play. I don't know if I'm going to just immediately tail it, but I'm going to right now take the first 5, but I think that might be a great play you're making.
Big question here is Alcantara. How effective will he be here? I could see him having some issues. I could see him probably. It's going to be one of those starts where he has 1 or 2 at bats where he just looks absolutely filthy, but has some trouble repeating it.
Tomor says I think it's tough to back Miami with Real Muto out. So is Real Muto not coming back?
I don't know. I was under the impression that Real Muto would be back for today's game, but maybe that's wrong.
That might be something we want you to know before you take them second half, because he's just. I've been so impressed with him and the at-bats him and Anderson and these guys are having.
Yeah.
Paco Healy says immediately tailing. I think that you might have a very sharp play here. And if Real Muto's in the lineup, I think I will probably tail it.
All right. Yeah. So this is a tough one.
I'm going to go first 5 under, but I think I need a little bit of guidance whether I take the 4 or the 3.5.
Oh, geez. I don't know. I guess I would. Oh, man. If I had to make a decision on that one right now, I would. Oh, that is tough. I guess I would take the 4.
Do you think that taking the 3.5 is because we know DeGrom's going to just roll through these guys, and it's Alcantara is the issue, and if Alcantara gets blown up, then you'd rather have a plus line.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely is volatility with Alcantara, which makes me think that the 3.5 is better. But I also kind of think that he will be pretty good. So if you take the 4, then you get protected against a fluky run here or there.
Scotty Rock did the under. So I'm getting a plus line on the under 3.5?
Plus 100.
And the 4 is a minus
131. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take the extra run.
You want it?
Yeah.
Okay, Jim's going to take Miami. First half, under 4, minus 131. Let's review the plays that we've given so far. Jim has given just 3. Tampa Bay, team total over 2.5 minus 130. That's full game, not first 5 innings. That is a full game team total over 2.5 minus 130. And the full game over on that one, 7 minus 115. And also Miami first half under 4 minus 131. That's it for Jim. I don't have that many plays either, but a lot of leans. I have Baltimore minus 1. Milwaukee, Cincinnati scoring the first, yes, at minus 138. San Francisco minus 1. Texas game scoring the first, yes, minus 157. Tampa Bay first 5 innings at plus 175. And Miami a second half plus 145. Leans that I was thinking about taking, God, so many leans here. Let's see. The Boston Yankees game, I guess my lean would be to the Yankees. Yankees second half and second half under. Washington, Philly. I guess my leans would be Philly second half and also second half under. LA, Baltimore. Maybe thinking about a lean to the under as well, but I took Baltimore minus 1. Detroit, Toronto. I don't even know. I guess lean to the under. Maybe Detroit second half. Maybe. These are tough games. Milwaukee, Cincinnati. First 5 innings over. Both first 5 innings team total overs. Maybe Milwaukee on the second half as well is a lean. Mets, Miami. Also thinking about Miami full game. Also thinking about unders in this one. Houston, Tampa Bay, another tricky one. Also thinking about Tampa Bay on the full game there. White Sox, Texas, thinking about the first 5 innings over. Thinking about the White Sox maybe on the second half.
I have a play.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I hate that. Go ahead. Go ahead. I am taking the under in Royals Mariners full game. I understand. Oh, and then Alex wanted. I'll just go as fast as I can here.
Yeah.
I know. I understand the Mariners are in a tough travel spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Ian Kennedy is capable of pitching better. I know he's winless in 14 starts, but 2-2, 3.38 ERA in 4 career starts against the Mariners. I don't think that he's a terrible pitcher, although his numbers do let us know that. Now, the reason why I think the under is a play here is because the Mariners are in a very tough travel spot. Lathrop does not believe in the Mariners here, but he doesn't believe in Gonzalez either, saying he had a terrible June. Yes, he had a terrible June, but look at those 2 teams he pitched against. His last 2 starts have been against the Red Sox and Yankees. And the Red Sox, who weren't touching lefties before, are now hammering lefties. The Yankees have a OPS over 800 against lefties. This is going to be a very, very, very nice spot for him after those very 2 difficult pitching matchups. So I think that the Mariners bats are much easier right now. Truly, I mean, Haniger is he's a good hitter, but he's not been hitting that well in the last little bit. He looked like an easier out to me. To me, it's just Nelson Cruz is just a beast in the middle of that lineup. And if you can get around Nelson Cruz, these other guys just aren't hitting. So I'm going to take the full game under here, right. Royals, Mariners.
That'll be 8 minus 105 at Bookmaker. 8 minus 105 at Bookmaker. Line shopping here at SBRodds.com. Free customized.
The last thing I wanted to mention was Alex really saying the under of the day is Cleveland A's under 8. And in his notes, these are from his words. He says Bauer's last 5 starts 5-0 to the under. Oakland 6-1 to the under last 7 when an opponent allows 2 runs or less in their previous game. We know that Bauer's going for this strikeout record. I don't know what Blackburn's going to give us. It's hard to he got this late start to the season. I don't. James Wilson saying Tribe run line anyone. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this game. Oakland coming off an impressive 4-game sweep. They've won 9 of 11, but the Indians have won 8 of 10. They'd won 7 straight before the Cardinals took 2 or 3 against them. Do you have a move here on the Indians?
No, this is a really tough one. Obviously, Bauer has been amazing. How long is this going to last? Not sure. It could last the whole year. And Blackburn, like I told you, Jim, is a guy who I'm not high on long term going forward. guy who probably is going to wind up being one of these starters who has like a nice 6-inning start, a third of the starts, and then gets gives up like 5 runs in 4 or 5 runs in 2/3 of his starts. I'm not exactly sure what to expect here. This one makes me nervous. I might look into. I ran out of time handicapping that when I was last night, and I'm just not sure.
When I thought, I was like, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. I was like, I think Blackburn can have a nice start here, and then he got absolutely destroyed, exactly the way you said.
Yeah.
So I'm a little touchy here. I do feel like the Indians have an advantage here. Just quickly, how big of a favorite are the Indians in this game?
The Indians are a favorite of -1 in the -160s. Bookmaker up to the -170s, and they're around -170. Oakland is around +155, and in the meantime, that San Francisco-Arizona game total, the total is now dropped to 7. So it opened at 8, juice to the over, and now it's 7, juice to the over. So a full run towards the under. Line movement so far on the San Francisco-Arizona game. That is a crazy move right there. Once again, St. Louis and Atlanta. I was thinking about taking a shot with a St. Louis team total over, maybe St. Louis -1, although other people were thinking Atlanta has value. Arizona, San Francisco. I did give San Francisco -1, but I was thinking about overs. Other people in the comment section and the market in general clearly liking the under. An interesting big card in MLB. We'll do this all again at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Jim, any other plays you want to add here?
No, I'm going to lock in those 4, but I've got leans that I'm going to nail. I mean, the only one I would add right now is the overs in that White Sox Rangers game, and I feel like I should. I guess that it's the injury that Covey's coming back from, but I think Gallardo is bad. He throws 85. He just seems so susceptible.
Yeah.
So, and we think that line's going to be steamed a little bit
to
towards
the over? No, I have no idea.
But I mean, just as a guess.
It's hard for me to imagine this line getting bet up to 11.5. It's now 10.5 juice to the over.
I'm going to take this right now. I'm going to take the first 5 over and the full game over in the White Sox Rangers.
Okay. So White Sox Rangers, where is that one? First 5 innings, Texas. First 5 innings over 6 -115, over 6 -115, and the full game. Let's see, the full game for the Texas Rangers game 10.5 -119. That is Pinnacle. Texas over 10.5 -119 at Pinnacle. That's it, Jim.
That's it. But did I just make a bad play there? Like,
no, I mean,
because I've been so tight with everything I've done so far, and now I'm doubling up on this game.
I mean, I wouldn't. I personally, I'm leaning first 5 innings over as well. I personally wouldn't double up on it just because if the first 5 innings doesn't go over, then I definitely wouldn't want the full game over. It's a tough one. Obviously, these 2 starting pitchers are very, very vulnerable. If Covey is actually better, he can be good. It's a high total, but I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Jim. I'm leaning first 5 innings over myself.
But not full game.
Not full game. I did take a score in the first inning, yes, at a pretty big favorite line. So obviously, I believe both these starting pitchers are vulnerable. And I would have a lean to the White Sox -1 and the White Sox on the second half as well.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, I'm gonna have those locks. So those will be all my plays at this point, and then I'm gonna spend the afternoon on this. I'm also gonna spend the afternoon on the CFL. Disappointing. But I'll wait till we move on to that. Sorry.
Definitely disappointing. Definitely disappointing. And you know what? I just did make a decision. I am going to take the White Sox on the -1 line here. I just think there's high volatility here, and if they win, it's probably by more than 1, and I think they can pull it out. So I'm going to throw on a late play here. White Sox -1. The money line right now is +134. That's the current line at Pinnacle and BetMania and a few other places. And the alternative run line is +225. So
I'll hate myself. I wanted the White Sox on the run line to come in. I wanted the Dogs on the big score. I do not trust Gallardo. It was basically listening to Nostra that kind of just brought fear. And I love, and I don't mind when I hear a captain that I respect so much on the other side. It just gives me pause, and I don't like going against them, but I'm going to have to here. I just feel like the White Sox have a ton of value in this spot because I know Gallardo is going to get touched a little bit.
Yeah.
And who knows what Covey's going to do? He could have a nice start. So I'm going to take the White Sox on the run line for a big score here.
You're going to take the White Sox on the run line for a big score. Okay, and I'm also going to throw on the White Sox first 5 innings team total over 2.5 -101. I agree with you. If Gallardo comes in and has a 5-inning start and holds him down to 2 or fewer, good for him, and I'll eat the loss. But I'm going to take the White Sox first 5 innings team total over 2.5 -101. And what do you want?
I need the reverse run line. Do you want me to grab it on Bet365?
Plus 225. Plus 225 at Bet365.
Okay,
yes. All right. And that's it, Jim?
That's it, yeah.
All right. So once again, we'll be back at 6 o'clock. We'll review all the line moves and all the information. And we will, I will at least probably convert a whole bunch of leans into official picks as of right now. These are all the official picks for MLB. For Jim, Seattle under 8. Tampa Bay team total over 2.5 and full game just the full game over 7 in Tampa Bay. Jim's on Texas first 5 innings over 6 and the full game over 10.5. Miami first 5 innings under 4 minus 131. White Sox alternative run line plus 225. My official picks. Baltimore -1. Milwaukee, Cincinnati is scoring the first. Yes. White Sox first 5 innings team total over 2.5. San Francisco -1. Texas game scoring the first. Yes. White Sox -1. Miami second half money line plus 145 and Tampa Bay first half money line plus 175. Those are all the official picks. Whole bunch of leans that I've got, which I've gone over, and I'll probably convert at least some of them to official picks in the morning show. All right, we're done with MLB, Jim.
Yeah. What a tricky and interesting, exciting card.
Definitely. All right, let's move on to a WNBA. Once again, I am coming out. I've had some ups and downs in WNBA. I'm up about 3 units. I had a winner with the first half team total over yesterday with Washington or wherever the hell it was. We got 4 games tonight. Only 2 of them had overnight lines, so I did not look at the 2 that didn't. Sparks and Aces and Atlanta, Minnesota. Did not have a time to look at those. But Chicago and Liberty and Indiana and Phoenix are definitely interesting games. The Liberty coming off of that close game. They're on a back-to-back. And now they're a 4.5-point favorite against Chicago, a team that's playing well. I'm not sure if there's any injury issues for Chicago, but I was thinking that Chicago plus the points here, and Chicago on the team total over, and maybe the Liberty on the team total under might be good plays. We know that the Liberty has problems defending at times. Chicago has been very explosive offensively at times. Liberty's on a back-to-back. I'm thinking Chicago plus 4 or 4.5 now, and Chicago team total overs might be a good play here. Let's see if there's anyone commenting on that one. King Rail, of course, WNBA killer. Is he commenting right now on these games? Let's see.
No,
I'm looking specifically.
We're all
waiting for King Rail.
Noah Last Arc says Minnesota -12. Lock it.
Okay. All right, a lot of comments that I would have loved to have gotten to, but we just haven't had time to get to them because there's so much that we're covering here. Kyle Jack says public money coming on over in the Mercury Fever game and Lynx point spread. Yes, I was thinking about a shot with Mercury team total overs as well. Obviously, the Fever is just a terrible team, and the Mercury is a team that can be very great offensively when they're on their game.
Okay, King Rail says only plays I've locked in: Mercury first half -4.5 and first half Sparks money line.
Interesting. And I'm just wondering, King Rail, why you are not immediately loving Chicago here as an underdog against an underwhelming Liberty team that is on a back-to-back, can have troubles defensively. I'm wondering why you would not be all over, at first glance, Chicago plus 4.5 and maybe Chicago team total overs.
Still capping.
Yes.
Says still capping.
Still capping.
Kyle
LOL.
Jack says public money coming on over in Mercury Fever and Lynx. And Jared Schrader likes Phoenix first half -4.5. So both Jared Schrader and King Rail on the Phoenix Mercury first half against Indiana, a bad squad. What do you think about that?
What?
The Mercury first half -4.5.
Mercury first half. Yeah, I mean that looks like a no-brainer, low-hanging fruit. Don't overthink it type play. Just because Indiana is really so bad, and the Mercury, when the Mercury's distracted, sometimes you get unexpectedly bad results for them.
And that's what Tomo's saying here.
Yeah.
He says, I think the Mercury are in a tough spot. They have Washington tomorrow. I think it's a bad spot for them against a weak Fever team. But Melee Payless Way says Phoenix first half.
Yeah, the big question here is, will Phoenix be distracted or not? If they're not distracted, yes, it's a great bet. But we have seen them get distracted before against teams. And also, the Indiana, they do better in the beginning of games. They have been relatively competitive unexpectedly at times, and they have trouble closing it out. So, it's a tough one.
So
and
going against the Sky, and just a couple added notes on the Sky. King Rail says, I like the Sky, but line makes me think an injury is going to be announced. And then Artez Jackson says Liberty play of the day.
Right. Now, why would anyone at first glance be looking at this and thinking Liberty is the play of the day unless they have real good reason for thinking that? You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to be some casual capper, look at this situation and say, of course, Liberty -4.5 play of the day. Only someone with very, 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 very good reasons for saying that would say something like that. And King Rail, I completely agree with you. I like the sky, but line makes me think an injury is going to be announced. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, this line doesn't make sense to me. There must be an injury here.
Yeah, it's interesting. And Teddy B said would take Link's first half. We know that he's been cashing,
Yes.
and allowed me to cash by tailing him. Says, but the markets have caught up with that. It's at -7.5. But even at that, I might still take it. Fever are the worst. One of the worst teams in the NBA.
Yes.
WNBA.
Let's see.
Yeah, Artez Jackson, New York Liberty play of the day.
Artez Jackson, Liberty play of the day. On the other hand, Antoine Seymour says Chicago money line, Pete. Chicago money line, Pete. That's what I would think. But why would someone be looking at this game and thinking Liberty play of the day? Liberty play of the day. That is a very, very, very telling comment right there, given the situation in this game. And as usual, with plays like with situations like these, a lot of times to cover my ass, I will go for team totals instead of taking spreads and stuff. And I was thinking about Chicago team total overs. First quarter 20 -113, first half 40 -113. I was thinking about that. We know Liberty can have issues defending. I was thinking about Chicago team total overs. Any opinions on that?
Not quite yet, but it makes. I can understand it. Torrance said, I think the line reflects how good the Liberty have been at home. Sky play hard, but are bad.
They play hard, but they're bad. But they do have a way of putting some points up here and there, don't they, though?
Yeah, coming in late.
Is Elena Deladon still in there? Is she injured or something? The line doesn't quite make sense to me. Let me just quickly check one thing, and I might throw on Chicago first quarter and first half team total overs, and maybe the full game as well. Let me just quickly check one thing. We are running a little bit over here. Yeah, I mean Chicago can be so good offensively. It can disappear, but they can be so good offensively, and I will do that. I will make those official plays right now. Chicago Sky first quarter over 20 and the first half over 40. Let me find the best lines for
Godmother joining us. What a treat.
Oh shit,
thank
Godmother.
you for coming around. Says Sky solo over.
Yes, that's just what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's just what I'm saying.
And
Thank you very much.
Link solo over.
Okay.
And Dawn is playing.
Of course, yes. I mean, why would she not be playing? The line doesn't quite.
But on the Mystics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, right. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good.
That's what I meant. Wait. Minus. Hold on. All right. I'm all confused here. All right. So I'm taking Chicago first quarter over 20 -113. That's the current line at Pinnacle, and then first half over 40 -110. That's the current line at Heritage. It doesn't. Sorry about that, Elena Deladon comment. I was my wires crossed here. First quarter over 20 -130, and the first half over 40 -110 at Heritage. Those are two official plays here. Good to see that those plays are backed up by Godmother. And then the Phoenix Indiana game just makes me nervous because of I'm just a little bit slightly concerned about Phoenix's mindset and if they will be distracted here. I was thinking maybe about a shot with the Indiana or is it the Indiana team total under in this game, which is 76. That's pushing it a little bit. Yeah, that's an interesting game. That is an interesting game. What do you think, Jim? Any other comments coming in that you want to alert us to?
Artez Jackson says Liberty on a 4-game losing streak, finally back at home.
Yeah.
Chicago on the letdown spot, coming off winning against 2 possible playoff teams.
Sure.
Tomor says betting streaks usually work in the WNBA. Worked with Phoenix and Connecticut. I think it continues to work with Minnesota here. And John Dean says, I love how people in this chat can disagree with each other but not bash each other's opinions.
Yes.
Way to be intelligent adult handicappers.
Yeah, something you don't really see a whole lot of in 2018.
It says best show in the game. Respect, John Dean, man. Thank you for being a part of it, man.
So maybe then Chicago will not show up offensively on this one. I might be wrong here. I'm going to wait. Do some studying on it in between shows, and then work with the chat again. We're not going to have to spend as much time on baseball on the late show, so we can focus more on CFL and WNBA. Kaya Scale says Chicago Sky is a trap. New York is the play of the day.
Kaisa Kyle.
Nah, so Chicago's a trap, but are my team total overs a trap as well? I guess that might be the case if they come in here a little thought. But my sense is that Chicago will want to come in here and get a win. I know they're off some very nice, high-scoring wins at home recently.
Gerald Martinez says Liberty played good enough to win in Washington. They can get the sky. Teddy B says Mercury at half -4.5 looks so good. Coco Bongo says my liver is going on a losing streak this weekend. I hear that, Coco Bongo.
All right, we are heading a little bit over here. CFL and soccer. I guess we'll skip those two and wait for the evening show for that.
Wait for the evening show. Yeah.
All right. CFL, once again, I'm 10-2 overall on the year, but I had, Ottawa plus the points and the team total over yesterday. Both of those lost, and I have already given BC at +6.5, and that might also be a game where I have an incorrect read on, because of course Edmonton is still a good team. They have the best quarterback in the game there in Riley, and they are off of a pretty embarrassing home loss, and they might be very salty here, right, Jim?
They are going to be very, very salty. Yes, salty. They've been just getting destroyed in the press. They're hosting the Grey Cup this year. I really feel like I almost wore my BC Lions shirt today. I'm very concerned about the Leos in this spot. I'm going to do a little bit more work, but I tell you what, I am certainly leaning towards the Eskies to put a beat down, even with the injury problems. Just to put a beat down, because the Eskies aren't going to be comfortable winning by 14. They need to make a statement to their fans and to the media.
Well, it doesn't matter if the line is only 6.5. So betting against the team with the best a salty team with the best quarterback in the league coming off a loss at home is often not something you want to be doing here. I might be on the wrong side here with taking early BC. I jumped on BC early.
What line did you get it at? Bless you.
Excuse me, sorry. I got it at 7 on my bet. I gave it at 6.5 as a pick, but I might have to pull that. We will get into the three CFL games coming up this weekend in the evening show. We are running over, but it was a great show. We had a lot that we covered. We took a brisk pace. No time for jokes, Jim, because there's so much MLB handicapping. Damn it! It was another good show, and that's it. Let's wrap it up right now. Thanks so much to everyone. We'll see you at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We'll go over this all again, see what leans we convert from MLB from leans to picks in MLB, and of course we'll get Jim's breakdowns of CFL. Can't wait to hear that. That's at 6 o'clock Eastern time.